I don't know what to say about this show. I don't know where to start. I guess the best way to put it is that it was so bad that it was good, I guess. Standing ovation. I gave this show a standing ovation. Now, the intro makes sense when I explain the show, because for me, this show was more of an experience. I have never laughed so much, I've never felt so uncomfortable, and I believe that this show will always be engraved in my head. Everything about this show was just bizarre. The story never made sense. The audience jumped rapidly between scenes. For example, one minute we were in a romantic slow dance, and the next minute we were transported to two people having a mental breakdown about not being online. It was just bizarre. My laughter during this show was maybe because I could not believe what I was actually watching. Every minute I was thinking, I've seen all this show has to offer. But every time I was proven wrong. All the way up to that awful ending, which I really have no idea how they came up with it. Now that I think about it, I have no clue in how they came up with the full concept of this show. Who felt like it was a good idea, but one thing I did notice during the applause was the passion the actors had after the show and how thankful they were that audience members actually turned up. Now, this was a musical and the singing was surprisingly very good. However, with that being said, there was only 3 songs, and during the middle of the performance I completely forgotten that this was actually supposed to be a musical. And while I was laughing my ass off, I now realised that there was no promotional material promoting this as a comedy performance, but I felt like I witnessed a comedy performance more than an actual musical. With the singing being acceptable, the acting was also on par. You could tell that actors were loved portraying their characters on stage and that they had a really thought about every aspect they were trying to put towards a character. But you could tell that they were unprofessional actors when it came to things that started to get more serious, and in the romance scene where things were just really awkward for us to watch. I could talk for ages about this show, with highlights being a talking potato, an actor speaking Italian throughout, which they tackled surprisingly well, as we could get an understanding of what the actor was saying with the help from the other performers, which I was impressed by. And it now makes sense because the theatre company is also from Italy. More highlights were the awkward long fade out scenes where we sat in darkness for a substantial amount of time to think about how we ended up here. There's so many highlights, however I won't spoil any more. Taking it serious, this show was a 2.5 out of 5. It was funny, the musical aspects of the show was really good, just everything else was bonkers and in a bad way. To make sense of this score, for me this was The Room, however the theatre equivalent of it. So basically it was so bad that it was good. So that comes to the end of this critique. Would I recommend seeing this show? I don't know. I really don't, because for me, I loved my experience there. However, taking the show seriously, it was quite a bad show. But if you want a good time, then I would recommend this show. So, thanks for watching.